Hi, my name's Scott Becker with Century 21 New Millennium. I was asked to give a quick roundtable at the fall RDC, and here's what we delivered, a Reader's Digest version of what we did at that roundtable using one of the techniques that we use for training in our company. What we talked about at that table was a couple of things. We spent a lot of time talking about what the platform should look like, what the advantages of video training are, a little bit about how to conceptualize your training, a little bit about programs and application. I kept that short purposely because I don't want anybody to get bogged down technically. Anybody can do this. And finally, some lessons learned that hopefully if you haven't gotten going on your video training yet, you'll learn from a few of the mistakes that I made along the way. We really talked about creating a foundation for success. You've got to think about how your training is going to be delivered. And when I say how, even where is your training going to be delivered? For us, that can't be at home. That can't be a video that we send out that we hope people are going to watch at home. It's got to be in a place where people are together, they're sharing, and there's some accountability about being there. To do that, you've got to think about when is your training going to be delivered? Who's going to be involved in your training? How are you going to, if you're not going to be there, who is going to be there that can help be a facilitator of this training? And finally, some concerns were shared at my tables about, boy, I just don't know if people are going to participate in this. How do I make sure that that's happening? Well, let's talk about the how and when. For our company, this is a necessity. We go all the way from Baltimore down through Washington D.C. and into through Northern Virginia. That's an awful big territory. We have lots of offices, a lot of agents. We really have to be able to deliver our training in a way that doesn't require me to be there for every single training. Otherwise, not a lot of training is going to happen. So what we do is we have it delivered in the office. Now, each of our offices happens to have a sales meeting on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. So we deliver our relocation training a half an hour before our second sales meeting of the month, which is that fourth Tuesday. Almost every office in the country has a sales meeting at least once a month, so that might be a really good spot for you to think about, okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be on the second, it's video, it can be shown whenever. The key is, when are people going to be in your office during a time that they're already scheduled to be there, so you're not making them drive twice. That's a big advantage of video training. Take advantage of it. Some of the things that we do is, obviously, you want to have a sign-in sheet to make sure that people are actually taking the training. But the power is really having those agents together. What they share after your training is how they really learn. And so it's really important that you think about that and get them together. Participation. For us, I say sales manager. Our sales managers, we refer to them as branch leaders. So I mentioned we have a half an hour meeting before their regular sales meeting. That meeting, that training for me will be no more than 15 minutes. When you're doing video or a format like this where it's a videoed PowerPoint, it's not the same as being there live, and you have to recognize that. Got to get your points across quickly. Give them the stuff that they really need to know, and let them move on with what else they have to do in their day. Deliver training to the sales manager ahead of time. This is key, critical. They've got to know what's in that training. You've got to give it to them a week ahead of time so they have a chance to watch it and they've seen it prior to them standing in front of the entire office and delivering it. You got to provide the sales manager with questions to ask. So when your video is over, there's still 15 minutes left. How are they going to facilitate some sharing and some understanding of how this is going to get accomplished at the individual level in that office and as a team within that office? Finally, for us, I'll have a quick conference call on the Wednesday before our training just to let people ask a few questions. That call never takes more than 5 minutes, and it's always valuable. And the two things that happen are, number one, if there was anything that was confusing in the training, it's discussed so that everybody understands it. Secondly, with a bunch of sales managers coming on, there's always one manager who has a good idea of what they want to say to their agents in their office about how to sell the importance of this. And by having that quick phone call, all 15 people that have to deliver this training have now, gained from that experience. What are the advantages? Number one, I heard a lot at our roundtables that there's often kind of an us-them with the sales manager and relocation department. That makes a lot of sense. We got a lot of rules and a lot of regulations, and they don't always understand what those are. They don't always know what the importance of them are. They're the front line for if an agent doesn't like those rules and regulations to hear the complaining about it. So it's really important that if they have to deliver the training, they're going to learn that training. And that, I think, is going to help your partnership with your branch leader tremendously. And it's going to give you a dialogue and a feedback between each other that may not exist in a lot of places. Obviously, it cuts down on taking your agents out of the market by not making them drive long distances. They can come into their office, get their training done on a day that they were planning on being in the office anyway. For our sales managers or branch leaders, they love it because they know that that second training of the month is going to have their top agents there in attendance as something that is required by the company. So it drives attendance to their sales meeting. For myself, I'm allowed to address topics in real time. When a new program comes out, when there's something that our company's not performing on and we need to get it turned around, I don't have to wait until 3 months from now when the big training is. I can get it out immediately. I've modularized all of our training so that our future relocation agents can get trained before they even start. They go through 4 separate modules. They're long. They're not fun. They're 45 minutes to an hour, but that gets them to understand all the different things that have to do with relocation. They then take a test, go into their manager, put that, give them the answers to the test, make sure that we understand them all. They review it with their manager. Then they put the application into us, and I talk to them, make sure that they, get all the requirements in terms of their amount of experience and transactions and things that they need to be on to the team. But it's very helpful that way. That obviously gives your sales manager the ability to recruit and bring on a great agent. That's good for me. I want the great agents that are joining our company who have a relocation background to get up, get trained, and get ready to take assignments. So that's really good for me. It's obviously also really good for our managers, and it takes away a frustration level that was originally there. They're a great agent, but they're going to have to wait 6 months until we do our relocation training. That's not a really good answer in today's world. There's ways to get that done, bring good agents in, and get them up and running, and make sure that they're trained. Huge. I put in all bold. I didn't realize this when I first started, but if I go to 15 offices and deliver the same training to 15 offices, I'm going to say it a different way in every office. And in one office, they're going to understand what I had to say, and in another office, they're not going to understand what I had to say. And in one office, I'm going to forget to say a really crucial thing, and in the other office, I'm going to remember to say a really crucial thing. By standardizing your training and making it on video for policies and really important things, you've got a recorded message that you can listen to, make sure it says what you want it to say, and get it out and make sure that everybody hears the same message. How often has somebody come to me and said, geez, that policy was never explained to us? Well, actually it was. Here's the video that we sent you. Watch it. It's between minutes 5 and 7. And in fact, you took a test on it and you answered the question. That kind of is really helpful, and it'll be a nice thing for you, I guarantee it. Finally, reality happens. Either people have personal situations, or there's a settlement that's been delayed by 5 days, and the agent just can't be at that training on the day that it's being delivered in the office. That's fine with us. We won't assign them any leads until they get the training made up, but they can come into the office the following day or the next week, get the training, get the key messages, take the test, send it in, and they're back up and running in relocation for us. A little bit about when you're looking at, choosing a topic. When you're looking at training, I believe that anything that has rules or regulations or policies of your customers, it really doesn't need to be fancy. Don't get overwhelmed with using all kinds of crazy video. Do a PowerPoint just like we're doing. Deliver the key messages. Get a test out there. Make sure people understand it. Do it as quickly as you can and move on. With video, I think here's some things to think about. First, I think obviously you want to have an idea of what it is that you want to capture. Maybe you want to talk about outbound referrals. What is it that you want? so that you go out, talk to key agents who have done well with it, talk to branches where they're doing activities as an office, talk to different people that you know are going to give you a message that you're looking to capture. Then forget about what that message was. Turn the camera on and leave it running. A huge mistake that I made when I first started was I would turn the camera on, shoot something, then turn it back off, then turn it back on and shoot something else. That makes people really uncomfortable. If you just turn the camera on and leave it running for the first minute and a half without doing anything, it sets everybody at ease that the camera's over there and the real conversation is over here where we're talking. You'll get much better video when you do it that way. After you've shot all your video, watch what you've captured and write it down. Say, oh, you know what, I like what happened between minute 1 and 2 when I was talking to Pam, and I like what happened between minute 5 and 6 when I was talking to John. And then scratch out a really quick screenplay. And when I say really quick, I do it on an index card. Hey, I want this clip, then I want that clip, and then I want the other clip. And sometimes I'll find there's a little gap in there. I'm going to need a filler. I can go record that after. Say, oh, after I talked to John, then Pam said something really interesting, and that gets fit in. So remember that not everything has to be shot in order when you're using video. Finally, you'll edit and deliver your video, and get product out to everybody. Some basic ways to get video done. I'm a big believer in the Flip camera. I'll talk about that software a little bit. Flip is out of business. That, fair warning to everybody, but the good side of that is the best camera that they ever made is now on eBay for $69, and you can probably get it cheaper. Almost every smartphone has video. You can use that, but know that doing your editing is probably going to be a little bit more difficult. Heavily suggest that you invest in a tripod. It will make the quality of your video a lot better, and is something that if you do any amount of this, you're really going to want one. Software-wise, I highly recommend Camtasia. That's what you're watching right now. Camtasia will let you do a PowerPoint and speak into the PowerPoint and convert it into a video that can be loaded on YouTube so you can get it out to everybody. Camtasia does a lot more than that, actually. Camtasia will allow you to record your screen. If you've got a great video or a great website that you want to share, you can actually go on that website and it'll record whatever's on your screen, and you can do, obviously speak over that website as you're showing it to everybody. So when you're doing this kind of video presentation, I highly recommend Camtasia. The cost of it's about $297. I can't even figure out how to use all the things that are on Camtasia. It's more than what you need. You can actually do really high quality stuff with it. The nice thing about it is anything that you need to learn, they've recorded it and done it in video. So you can watch a video on what it is that you're trying to accomplish and then use the software to do it. YouTube is, I think, the best place to store your videos because there's nobody in the world who can't click on a YouTube link and watch it. It's very, very simple stuff. When you start loading videos onto back-end websites and things, you start finding technical problems. If you have any concern about the privacy of what you're doing, you can mark things on YouTube as private and invite people to watch it, and only the people that you've invited can actually see it. Some recommendations. We talked about Flip. Flip I recommend because their software is so easy. There's about 4 buttons. When you're shooting actual video, there's about 4 buttons that you need to learn how to use. If you mess with it for any period of time, you're going to be an expert with Flip within an hour. And I think that that's just a cheap and easy solution to shoot some video. Obviously, if you want to be more technical, like we talked about, you can use your iPhone or Droid. Unless you're publishing it, if you're not putting it out for the public on your website, then don't try to win the Sundance Film Festival. Shoot a quick video, make it 10 or 15 minutes, get your points across, make it a quality that you feel proud about, but not a quality that needs to be, published out there for all the world to see. It's for your agents to get, a better training that's a little bit easier for them to receive by doing it through the video format. Some lessons learned. Keep it short. This training that I'm giving to you right now is too long. Invest in a good tripod. Everyone's uncomfortable in front of the camera. If you haven't done it, you will be too. I promise you, it goes away pretty quickly. And leaving that camera running will really help you. I laugh, but people laughed when I said this, but relocation training was boring before video. Do not try to make your videos these most exciting things in the world. If you've got a creative flair to do that's wonderful, but the point is, this is an easier way to get your training across more consistently. It's not a way to try to wow everybody with technical, expertise, and you don't have to have that technical expertise to be very good at this. Using agents whenever possible is a great idea. For us, what I'll do is I'll send an email. That email will have the YouTube link. It will tell the people how long is that video going to run for. It'll have the 5 or 6 questions that I want the facilitator to ask, and it'll have a handout. A handout's really crucial. Every time I don't send a handout out, everybody asks for it. So just, attach a handout into your email, send it out, get it facilitated in the office. You'll do really well. Remember to leave that camera running and start tomorrow. Don't overthink it. Get some quick software. Give it a try. Your first one's not going to be good as your 10th one, and your 10th one's not going to be good as your 50th one. Start somewhere. Don't overthink it. Get it done, and you'll really enjoy it. If anybody has ideas that they can share back with me, very much appreciate it. Scott.Becker@c21nm.com, and thank you very much.